Okay, looks like we're set up. Okay, just getting a couple of things set up. I've just lost the chat view, and then I'll get into it. Okay, let's start by having a quick look at how we did last week. So last week we only did on Saturday. I didn't do a Sunday set of selections. So looking at it, we had Flemington, Doomben, Newcastle, Gilgandra, and Murray Bridge. Out of those, we had a few that were skipped just because we didn't get the odds that we were looking for. But overall, we made $1.92 on the $30 selections, finally pushing us past the minimum liability that we're doing, which is the risking $30 on each selection as a liability. And this has essentially got us up at least one loss. So from here on, we're just adding to coverage for any losses that do come in. Had we not skipped based on the odds and just taken everything regardless of odds, we'd be up to $42.02 on that $30 liability. Now, I have started today, but let's review the jockeys first before we get into today's selections. So again, I only did Saturday for the jockeys, where I did Flemington, Rosehill, and Doomben. And looking at it, essentially we did not have a loser, although we did have some scratchings. And the profit was $19.83, assuming a 7% commission on winning bets and using the staking which we have in place, which is based on the strike, well, the return on investment on those jockeys. So given we've had a couple of long shots that have come in, we're still sitting at minus 92.72 just on this test case. Now, if we have a quick look at the selections that we have today, we have, I'm just going to zoom in here a bit, make it a bit easier to read. We have quite a few at Randwick, with one of them starting in the next hour and a half. It is race 1, number 10, race 2, number 14, and number 15. Race 4, number 15, race 5, number 7, race 7, number 11, all at Randwick. Now, the only one that I'm willing to go to any odds is race 5, number 7. All the others have an odds range added. I had nothing at Moonee Valley, so I am going to just take that out of there now. That was a reminder, so I could say there was nothing there. And I also had nothing at Morphettville, so I'm going to take down Morphettville as well. I did have 2 at the Sunshine Coast, which is race 5, number 4, and race 8, number 19. So out of 4 meetings, we've got a few selections in there, mostly at Randwick, and they do start early. They start 11:30 today with that race 1, which is in an hour and a half time. So we'll see how we go with those. Let's jump in and maybe do the jockeys. So I haven't done the jockeys at all today, so I'm going to start with Randwick and go from there. So I'm just going to put in the dates. I haven't worked out which jockeys yet at all, but let's assume we're going to get a few. So the way I do the jockeys is I have gone to Racing and Sports website. I've gone to their form guide and gone to the meeting info and then clicked on the runners, jockeys, trainers and sires. And thanks there in the chat. Great to see you live. Yep. Thanks. Hope you enjoy the live stream. But as I was saying, we jump into jockeys on this screen, and then I'm going to go through and I can look at 100 jockeys to see which ones we can lay using the staking that we have. So I'm just going to open these up and then quickly go through them. It's running a bit slow, but we'll get there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Chad, Dylan. Okay, I generally go down a line and just open them all up and then go through them really quickly. Now, I'm pretty sure some of these I've seen before, so... Okay, this one's got an ROI of 82, so we're looking for 65 or less. So nothing with Adam, nothing with Ashley. Okay, so here's one. Benjamin Osmond is one of our jockeys. He's at 58, so let's just put him in there and have a quick look at what races he is in. So he's in race 1, 4, 7, and 10. So 1, 4, 7, and 10. And he's on selections 1, 2, 6, and 5. 1, 2, 6, and 5. Now he was a 58% return, and that means we essentially are going to have a 4.2 divided by the 3.5, which is the minimum to work out our staking. So that is essentially the 42% loss over our base, which is a 35% loss. And that just gives us a bit of a bit different staking just based on their ability. So he'll get a 1.2 or $1.20 lay on each of his horses. Okay, let's have a look who else we've got. Not Billy Owen, he's 81. Not Chad Schofield, he's 81%. Not Dylan Gibbons at 76. Not James. Not Jason. Not Jay. Not Jenny. Okay, here's another one, Jet Stanley, at 54% ROI. So we'll put him in and we'll go have a look at what races he's on. So Jet Stanley, he's only on 2. Now these never line up correctly, so it's really these 2 down here. So he's in race 2 and 4 on number 10 in both of those races. So 2 and 4, he's on number 10. And if I just have a quick look at what his ROI was, it was 54. So that's going to be a 4.6. So where we had 4.2 before, this will be 4.6. And so we're doing a little bit more on him. Okay, let's keep going. So Jet Stanley. We're not going to look at Josh Parr at 87, and I'm just going to close that one. Okay, so we'll go down the middle aisle now. I could almost rule out some of these. Like, I know it's not going to be Nash, but I'm just going to go through them just in case. Okay, it's probably not Tim Clark either. Okay, so Karen is at 77, 88, 93, 95, 79, 72, 78, 76, 81, and 82. So nothing from the middle line, and we've just got a couple in the, or 3 in the last one. 79 and 86 and 71. So just the 2 jockeys at Randwick that we're going to lay, and we'll see how they go. I'll throw in Moonee Valley next, stay with the major meets and see if we can get anything there. Okay, Moonee Valley, I'm going to meeting info, cross to the jockey stats. I'm going to open them all up again. The reason I can only do 100 jockeys is because Racing and Sports only lets you look at 100 without changing IPs. So if I do find this is profitable, there's always ways of using proxies and things like that to be able to get that information. So again, looking for anything under 65, that's 89, that's 76, 73, 82, 55. So here we go. Christine pulls. Okay. Now, she was 55, so I'm just going to put in here. So 55 is going to be a 45. That's 45% loss. Let's have a look what rides she has. Just the one, which is race 8, number 17. Race 8, number 17. Okay, we got a 76 on Craig, 79, 77, 74, 83, and 76. So not looking at any of those ones. So we'll go down the middle line. It's not going to be Jamie Carr, but again, I'll do it for completeness. Few jockeys running at Moonee Valley today. Okay, so you'll see up here, it tells you how many we've gone through. So I've done 38 of 100 at this point. So 64, so that will be one because we're looking at 65 or less. So Jack Hill is another one. Let's put Jack Hill in, and he was 64, so let's put that in, which will be a 3.6. And let's go have a look at what races Jack Hill is on. So Jack Hill is on 2, race 3 and 6, numbers 7 and 3. Race 3 and 6, numbers 7 and 3. Okay, and Moonee Valley. Let's have a look if there's any more. So we've done Jack. So Jamie's 85, Jamie's 76, another 85. There's probably a case that I've gone a bit too far with the 35% loss, but you could probably keep it a bit higher, maybe a 30% or even a 25% and see how it goes. That's 84, he's 61. So this is a 3.9 for Lachlan King. It's losing 39%. Okay, Lachlan King is racing just on 1, race 3, number 10. Race 3, number 10. Okay, let's keep this going. Try to get through these a bit quicker. 73, 81, 84, 74, 84. Just do the last line here now. So we've got Brian, Sheridan, Tatum, Theodore, Thomas, Tom, and Zach. Pretty sure Tom Preble is one we've had before. So no on Patrick, no on Reese, no on Ryan, no on Sheridan, no on Tatum, no on Theodore, no on Thomas. Yep, Tom Preble. Again, 39% loss on his ROI. So let's go have a look. So let's put this in. So we've 39%. Okay, what races is Tom Preble on? He's on 2. It's race 4 and 9, horse 4 and 10. 4 and 9, 4 and 10. Okay, let's see if we can finish this off. And nothing for Zach. Okay, so that's Moonee Valley done. Let's do Morphettville. And then I'll probably do Sunshine Coast if I've still got enough credits to get through. So just opening up all the jockeys in the first line. Okay, Dom and Felicity. So Alana's going at 95%. Here we go. So we got Alice Lindsay at 64, which is a 36% loss. So we're going to put this in as 3.6. And this is at Morfettville. Okay. Alice Lindsay. Alice Lindsay is on race 2 and 7, horses 13 and 6. 2 and 7, 13 and 6. Okay, let's jump back in so we can finish this off quickly. 64, 69, 67. So we're looking for 65 or under on the ROI figure. 81, 67. Quite a few that were close. 68. Let's go down the middle aisle. Okay, not too many in the middle aisle. It's an 87, a 72, a 79, a 75, and an 80. And let's jump to the last column here. Not too many here either. A 91%, 71%, 71, 81, 66, 80, 74, and 71. So you can see most of the jockeys are over that 35% or under the 35% loss. So that's Morfettville. I'm going to do Sunshine Coast as well. They're the main meets today. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's get through B's and a couple of more here. And I'm up to 80, so this will probably be the last meeting I can get through doing jockeys. So we got 73, 76, 86, 90, 73, 69, and 78, so nothing there. Hopefully we can get something in the middle. There's a few jockeys here with just one ride. They tend to be the ones that pop up a bit more often with the 35% loss. Okay, so here we go. Dale Smith. Okay. So Dale Smith at Sunshine Coast. Okay, let's see how many races he has. So Dale Smith has one. It's race 1, number 11, and he lost 40%. This one, number 11. This is going to be a 4.0 divided by 3.5. Okay, so it's Dale. That's an 85, that's a 71, a 79, an 83, 58. Here we go. Milia Castle. And she was going at a 58%, so that's a 42% loss. Let's have a look what races she is on. She's on a few. Okay, this will be a good one. So 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So she's got quite a few races. Let's fill out that, and then we'll grab the horse numbers, which are 9, 4, 1, 22. 9, 4, 1, 22. 15, 13, and 5. 15, 13, and 5. Okay, there we go. Let's check the rest of these jockeys. So, we've done Malia. Michael is 87. And Nikita is 77. Okay, we've just got a few more in the last column, and that'll probably finish off doing the jockeys for today. Yep, just got it done. So, okay, Nathan's a 52, so he's losing 48%. Okay, so let's have a look. So we said 48%. Let's have a look what races Nathan is on. Just the one, race 7, number 16. Okay, save that. And let's go. 88 for Noel, 80 for Ryan, 85 for Talia, and 76. So that's it. So for the jockeys, we ended up with 23 selections for the day over the 4 meetings. The jockeys that we're laying are Benjamin Osmond and Jet Stanley at Randwick, Chris Pools, Jack Hill, Lachlan King and Tom Preble at Moonee Valley, Alice Lindsay at Morfettville, and Dale Smith, Malaya Castle, and Nathan Fazakerley, I'm going to say, I think I got that right, at Sunshine Coast. So these are showing a loss at the moment, given that we have had some fairly large losers. So we had 121 back at Hobart a couple of weeks ago, and we had one at, it was $50 odd, yeah, $49.98, which was Alice Lindsay, who we have laid again today, a few weeks before that. So this is just getting some data, having a look, seeing how it goes. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. So if we jump back to the lays, I might do another meeting because I've got some time. It's only 10:20. So I've done Randwick, Moonee Valley, Morfettville, and Sunshine Coast. So let's have a look what other meetings might be worthwhile doing. So there's always Belmont, and it's Kembla Grange. So I might do Kembla Grange. See if there's anything at Kembla worth laying. So not in race 1. It doesn't look like there's anything in race 2 based on the ratings. Quick look at race 3. There's a big drop off with these two. Let's have a quick look. So the favourite here is up in class, has 3 career starts with 1 placing. It's a 1,000 metre race, which is what it has been racing at on soft, and today is a good. So this horse hasn't had a go on good, so I'm guessing there's an expected improvement running on the good ground. There's also a horse that has been pretty good in some barrier trials. Again, on wet ground. So let's have a look at 9 and 13, and I'm just going to open up the stats around it for race 3. So we said 9 and 13. If we look at this, most are pretty poor in the prize money they've won. Even these two aren't that far below. Number 13 jockey isn't that great. Number 9's average. Okay, so let's have a bit of a look. They have to be pretty bad for me to not want to take them. So here it's had 5 starts. It is up in stronger class. The final comment is faces a tough essay. It's run on good 4 times and done nothing. It's run at this distance twice and done nothing. It's had a go at this track twice and done nothing. It tends to run on pace or towards the back, and given it's got a pretty poor barrier, it's likely to run at the back. Kembla Grange has a fairly long straight, and so it's not as much of a disadvantage to those horses running at the back, but still a horse that doesn't have much form running from the back is unlikely. It hasn't run for 328 days, and it hasn't had a barrier trial. Let's have a quick look again. When did this one race? 21 days ago. Okay. Given there's quite a few new horses that have done okay in barrier trials, at least these two have. Even this one at $51 has done okay in a barrier trial. It hasn't done much at all. Hasn't finished really in a real race within 5 lengths. The only concern is it's first up after such a long break. And it is a 4-year-old, so I may leave that one. I just don't know what it's going to do when it comes back first up after that long. Again, this one's first up after 127 days, but that's only 3 months. So there's less time for the improvement to happen. So it's up in stronger class by 6, which is a fair jump. It would be a major upset if he won. It's a comment. Now, he's been running a lot better, though. He's been within 2 to 3 lengths, which is definitely, you can pick up those kind of distances. He's been up to 1,800, and then the lowest has been 900 metres for the race, but only placed 1 out of 12. So that kind of gives the impression that this trainer doesn't know what distance suits this horse, and he's just trying to find something where this horse will work. Now, may have gone for a spell given they've settled on a distance that they want to train for. Generally runs up on the pace, so it's going to try to get up there and hold the position. Hasn't done anything this distance, which is 1,000 metres. And if I look at his shorter distances, he did okay at 1,200. And he was a long way back in the 900. So my guess is he's probably worth a lay in this race. So number 13, I'll go to about $100 on him, given the poor rating there and enough that can beat it. So Kembla Grange, race 3. Kembla Grange, race 3. It was number 13, and I'll go to 100. It'll likely go longer than that 100, but if we can get 100 or less for a lay, that's a worthwhile lay. Okay, let's look at race 4. Looking at everyone's rated quite well in this. I'm not going to touch that race at all. Let's have a look here. The lowest rated one is 83. It does drop off slightly there. Let's have a quick look. He's only won 1 out of 18, up in class slightly with 1.5. Comment is looking elsewhere. He's won once out of 9 on good. Done nothing, 8 attempts at this distance with only 1 placing. Now, when you see a horse going a lot at the same distance, the trainer's obviously training for that distance, and they will eventually pick up a win, or they'll stop training the horse. So he obviously feels that this horse can do something at this distance, which is 1,400. And he's been running pretty much around the 13, 14, 1,600 metres consistently. And his only win is at 1,500 metres. Okay, is there anything that is actually worthwhile in this race that can win? So 2 out of 11. This one's up in stronger class. So the other one that is the top rater, 4 out of 37. He's coming down in class. Has won at this distance. Likes to sit middle of the pack. Who else has got odds here? Just $9. 5 out of 31. Has won 2 out of 8 at this distance. Is in equal class. So yeah, look, there's enough there. I'll have a look at the stats around career prize money for number 12 in race 5. So we're looking for number 12, and yeah, so he's a long way behind. Has a good jockey though, given their prize money, and average trainer. Now that worries me a little bit. I'm going to actually go have a bit more of a look at his stats, just to see if there's anything that I can see in here. What did he do last race? Settled 4th, and slowly lost his place from 5th to 7th, and that was over 1350, and still only finished 2.8 lengths behind. Okay, what's the jockey trainer kind of stats? Only wins 12%, only places 12%. And in the last 12 months, 6 runs and done nothing. 3 at the course and done nothing. What's the prize money been? 45k, 42k, 45k. And today's race is 42. So he's been racing in similar class, similar distances, done nothing, essentially. I'm going to lay him up to 100. So race 5, number 12. Actually, I'm just going to check what he's done out of these barriers. He's had close barriers and done nothing. Okay, so race 12, what do we got? He's $26. I'll lay him up to 50. So race 5, number 12, up to $50. Okay, so just going to check the chat quickly. So there's a comment there about the jockey ROI. So I'm just going to jump back to the jockey ROI. So when I'm looking at the staking here on these ones, essentially I'm looking for all jockeys that have lost at least 35% ROI, because I'm assuming that with Betfair prices, then they should be okay to lay at those, at that kind of loss. And then for every 1% over that, I'm essentially kind of staking it up. So for this one, he had lost 42%. So it'll be 42% divided by the 35%, which will give us 1.2 for the staking. But I max it out at $1.50, just as for that calculation. So that's how I've done all of these, and that's how you get the different staking. And I'm looking for at least 35% loss for those jockeys. And Mitchell has asked, it seems I prefer lay strategies more than back strategies. Yeah, I do. I much prefer lay strategies. The reason being, I like to be consistent and have a very high strike rate. And I'll lay multiple horses in a race. So it is definitely easier to find the losers than it is to find the winners. As an example, let's just look at the race we were looking at here. There's quite a few that are rated here that could win. If we look at the top 2 favourites, you know, the percentage is only 11% and what's that, 18%, but 2 out of 11. It's very hard. Like, I could give pretty much, if we look at this, he's only won 2 out of 25. He's expected to go okay because he's in weaker class, placed 3 times at the distance and 3 times at the track and distance. any of these horses can do an upset. It just needs your horse that you're backing to have an off day to essentially lose that back bet. Whereas if you're laying, you need the horse to have an exceptional day, or all of the rest of the horses to have a really bad day for you to get that lay wrong. Especially when I'm looking at the longer odds. So in this case, it was 26 on fixed price. It'll likely go off at $40 to $50 easily on Betfair. But this horse basically has to put in, he's only won 1 out of 18. And he needs to beat these other horses, all of the other horses that if one of those has a good day, I'm going to have I'm still going to get that lay correct. And Mitchell has asked as well, how many bets would you be having a day for my automated systems? It's up over 1,000 on a Saturday, so quite a bit. Manual, when you're doing it manually like I'm doing here, it's really hard to do this and get through the meetings and keep your brain working at at least efficient enough to look at all of the horses and make those judgments and not decide to overbet. You'll notice, like, when I'm doing it manually, I'm only picking up 10 to 20 a day. My automated selections, by far, I'll just pull up a quick spreadsheet where I am actually tracking something. Okay, I'm just going to look at this spreadsheet where I'm actually tracking it by hour. So these are the automated selections that I have, and if we just look at, say, yesterday, which was a Friday, these are the number of selections I'm having each hour. So for the whole day, on a Friday, I had 18,734 bets. Mostly lays, some of them are backs. And to give an idea of how that is performing hour by hour, I changed my staking around here. This is why I'm tracking this, to just see how the staking is performing. So in about the last 500 odd hours, so what's that, last month? I don't even know. It's about 21 days. It has jumped from, when I changed his staking, from about 1,000 up to 12,000. So in the last 20 days, I've made 11 grand. That's a lot of lays and a lot of bets happening though. And the reason I'm tracking it hourly is just to see how the new staking was progressing. That is for a set of my selections. This is my actual account over a similar time period. Again, if I look at yesterday, so this will be all of them. I had 19,343 selections that are all automated with various models. You can see some of the model names in here. And it has essentially gone 30,000 in the last 1,000 hours. So what's 1,000 hours? About just over a month. And that's why I do like to lay a lot more or back multiple selections in a race. So you can see that's a fairly consistent edge that I have. But it is automated and you can't do 19,000 selections in a day. And you can't do 19,000 selections in one sport or one country either. So I'm pretty much laying in multiple or betting in multiple countries. So New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, where else? The UK, Ireland, France, and the US. They're probably the biggest ones. There would be others. There's also I'm also in football, which is pretty slow at the moment, given the Olympics are on. And I am also on a few other sports like tennis, um, basketball, AFL, rugby league, rugby union. Um, a lot of those are just using some models or are using a simple plus EV strategy. So you're basically looking at bookies prices for the EV strategy, and if you can either lay it at a close to those bookie prices, or you can back it at a certain percentage above those bookie prices. So say Pinnacle. Everyone knows Pinnacle's odds are fairly good. Sometimes the Betfair prices are not aligned with it. Not often, but you can get some plus EV plays in there where you're either laying it or you're backing it based on those Pinnacle odds. I don't just use Pinnacle though. And there are APIs out there that you can use for that, but I generally just use Odds Portal for that one. So I'll go through that just quickly and then I'll jump back and finish off this meeting. Odds Portal, if I'm looking at something, so you could look at this Manchester City versus Manchester United game. You've got all the bookies in here, and you can see across these bookies, the average is $1.59 and the highest is $1.62, right? So obviously, if you want to bet on that, you want to be getting at least $1.62. And if you look, people on Betfair are looking at $1.65 for that favourite. Now, if we look at the longest shot, it's only $5.16 with the bookies, but you can get $5.60 with Betfair, or at least $5.40, but $5.40 to $5.60. So I'd be looking at generally being on the long shots, not the favourites. And when you do the no vig, there's multiple ways you can take out that vig from the bookmakers' prices. And so you can see this is a 98% book at those highest prices. You're looking at 101 and again 98 there. But you can see that if you can get on the right side of these and get the right odds, sometimes you can get some value just on Betfair to cover that commission. So I do have a bot that does that. You've got quite a few things in here that you can line up with Betfair, and you can just take those. So if anyone does want to write a bot, that is a very simple bot to write. You can also do arbitrage plays with that. Bet365 is one of those that generally you can sometimes arb with. It seems to pop up more than often, but you will get your account limited really, really quickly with those guys. So whether it's worth arbing, generally not, but you can definitely do the plus EV plays or the lays on Betfair. So if you looked here, the average is $1.59. You could put something in at, say, $1.58, $1.57 on Betfair, and if it moves, you might get matched on that game. So that's definitely worth something. If you can code, that's one of the great ways to do it. If you can't code, there are tools out there that you can pay for that will do it for you, and there are some sites. The one that I would recommend is A Train Station. He definitely has some really good software, but you're looking at a fairly expensive price for that. I don't have it. They do have a demo. And looking at the demo, it didn't really work with Betfair in that, at least for the demo prices they have in there, you'd need to be checking it at the times when those games are getting close, because generally Betfair fits within the VIG, and there's no EV play on a lot of matches. So it didn't identify many matches to actually bet on. but for across different bookies, definitely. They've got some pretty good software. The other ones are OddsJam and Odds Checker. But again, I think OddsJam is up about $1,000 a month. If you want software to do it, and it's not automated, you need to still do it manually. It just identifies those opportunities for you across the bookies. Whereas I prefer everything to be automated. Otherwise, I couldn't put 19,000 bets on a day. Okay, let's jump to race 6. And I'll finish these off. So looking at this, there's a very quick drop off in ratings. So if I was going to back one, this is the kind of race I'd be looking at. Just reordered that. You've got a heavy favourite. Is he a valid favourite? He hasn't won before, but he has placed 2 out of 4 and in the same class. So he's not going up in class. Tried at this distance once and didn't do it. So it's 1,400. But maidens are where you tend to get those in the market performing a bit better. Generally because they're horses that haven't won, and if they're likely to win, it's going to be in a maiden. Again, the second horse is 2 out of 4. So that's kind of why I don't like to back again, even though it's rated 87. If we have a look at race 6, and it was 3 and 10, and you can see, like, yes, 3 has won on average 7.7k per race, but 10 has done not too bad at 4.6, and then it drops off significantly after the top 3. So if we were to lay here, we're generally looking at those at the bottom. So number 12 has been in 3 barrier trials and done nothing. Has ran last in every single barrier trial it's been in. By a long way too. 15 lengths on 2 of them and almost 4 lengths on an 800 metre trial. So look, it could be that it just needs longer distance for number 12. I'm just going to check the jockey's average. Got an okay trainer, so I'm not going to touch number 12 because it might be looking for that longer distance. Who else did we have in here? We had 7 and 17. So 7 starts, hasn't placed at all. Same class, unlikely to threaten or on good. So it's ran 4 times on good and done nothing. It's carrying 57, which is the most it has had to carry. Its odds are generally double figures, and it's done nothing in all of those races. It's double figures again today, and it's always at the back of the pack and running at the back. It ran on once where it was right at the back at Hawkesbury and ran on to 4th. So let's just have a look at these top 4. So we had 2 out of 4 for placings, 2 out of 4 for placings, 1 out of 2 for placings, but up in class. And I have no idea how that one is $9 when it's up in class and not placed at all. But it did do some things in a barrier trial. Okay, so number 7, I'm happy to lay number 7 here. It's done nothing at the distance, done nothing at all. Even on its return, it was at $51 and it finished 6 lengths. Given it's at barrier 11, it's going to sit at the back. It's going to have to run on. I don't think it's going to get there. So I'm willing to go out to a rating of 69 against this field in a maiden. I'll go out to 200. So race 6, number 7. 6, number 7, out to 200. And let's have a look. Race 7. So again, we got some long shots out here that might be worth looking at with really low ratings. The top horse has 4 out of 25, running in the same class. Runs much better on good ground than it does on soft. So it's got 3 wins out of 12. The barrier 10, it's been at the back and ran on previously at Kembla Grange, so it should be okay. 1 out of 16, it likes to place. This horse obviously doesn't like to win, and probably because it runs towards the back again. They have tried it up front, but it is in much weaker class, a -9, so it should go okay. And all of those placings and win have come on good ground. And the third favourite, 1 win out of 5, but it's up in class. Again, it's coming from the back, which isn't a problem at Kembla Grange, not on good ground. And it's got 1 placing out of 2 on the good. So look, they're probably okay. Let's have a look at these longer shots. Let's go have a look at their prize money first. So if we were to look at prize money, we're pretty much looking at number 11 and number 4. Number 11's got an okay jockey, which is a bit of an issue, and a good trainer. So it's more likely number 4 that we're going to take than number 11. So where is number 4? Number 4's here. He's in equal class. Has been winning here and there and been running okay. So we're not going to touch number 4. Let's check number 11. 2 out of 36. That one of those wins has come on good ground. Has tried this distance 16 times and not won. And it's 1200 and it's a 7-year-old mare. So it's a female, likely it's not a mare race, is it? No, so we've got geldings. So it's a female against males, which generally is a disadvantage. And it's a 7-year-old, and generally once they hit 7 years, they start to slow down on the sprints. So, and it's got a wide barrier, which again isn't a huge issue, but it has been running pretty close in its distances. It is up in class. I'm just going to skip that one. It might be worth a lay, but I'll stay away from that one. And I'm not even going to look at number 10. So we'll look at race 8. And race 8. Okay, we've got some real long shots in this race. I'm not seeing too many wins here in the top few rated. So let's look at the favourite. It's only got 3 out of 30. But one of those has been at this track out of 4 races. It's in much weaker class and has been running within the 1 to 2, 3 lengths. And the second favourite is 3 out of 30 as well, so only 10%. This one's been a long way back in this class, so not great to see. Who is third favourite? Again, 10%. Hasn't done anything at this distance, but is 1 out of 7 for wins on good ground and 4 placings out of 7. And again, not running terrible the last couple of races, but up in class. So nothing's exciting me there. These last 3 are going to have to be pretty terrible career prize money for me to want to take them. So we have a look. Most of them are, the top few are 7,000 per race, 6,000 per race. 14, 15, 16 are probably the only ones you want to look at. And they are those 3 long shots. Jockeys are average to lower in this class, and the trainers are much lower on their prize money. So, okay. 14, 15, 16, let's have a look. So 14, it's won twice at 1600 meters and 2000 meters. And we're racing at 2000, so it's up at a distance that it wants to run at. It's only ran this distance twice, won once, placed once, so and it's been running within a few margins, so we'll stay out of that one. 15 has only won once at 1600 meters, has attempted a 2000, at least 2145 there once. It was long odds when it attempted it, and it finished 17 lengths behind, but it was on heavy. It's been within 2 lengths on the last run on soft, again at 1500. It's up in class, and others offer greater appeal. These odds up around the 100 odd, and it not performing. And it runs, they've tried a few different things. They've tried up front, out of barrier 6, and they've tried at the back from various barriers. Given it's barrier 12, it'll probably go to the back. It's going to need to run on past other horses, so I'm happy to lay that with a rating of 73. So number 15 in Kembla Grange, race 8. And looking at it, I'll give it to 300. It might go at higher odds than that. But I'm willing to go to about 300, just given that last run where it came 4 out of 13. If it does improve in that, it might have a little bit of a chance, so don't want to get it out too far. Okay, and 16, up massively in class with a 7. Tricky assignment is the comment. It has ran at the back in every single race. It hasn't won since April last year on soft ground. Its performance on good ground is 5 placings out of 21 starts. The only thing going for it is it has won once at this distance from 13 starts. It's a 9-year-old. So occasionally 9-year-olds can do an upset in these longer races. It's only got a 4% win rate. And it's gone a 1200, 1600. Yeah, it's trying to build up. They've ran a 2000 recently at Kembla Grange in April, and it came 9th, 7 lengths behind when it was 101. It's now 151 to 1 with a rating of 63. I'll lay that one. It's done nothing recently. We're talking double digit plus. It's got no chance. So number 16 will go out to 1,000. So race 8, number 16. And I'm happy to lay that at any odds. Okay, so that's Kembla Grange. That gives us a few selections for today. So what do we got? We've got Randwick, race 1, number 10, race 2, I'm taking 14 and 15, race 4, number 15, race 5, number 7, and race 7, number 11. Sunshine Coast, we've got race 5, number 4, and race 8, number 19. And Kembla Grange, we've got quite a few. So we've got race 3, number 13, race 5, number 12, race 6, number 7, and race 8, number 15 and 16. One thing I will point out, 2 of these are New South Wales meets. And when you are laying at New South Wales meets, the odds will be higher. They will get pushed out slightly more than they will at other states in Australia. The reason being they're very high commission rates that are charged in New South Wales. So you actually get hit with an extra charge if you do too much backing on the New South Wales races. So those extra charges means there's less money going on the backside and people will lay horses rather than back the horses in that state. So you will find if you do like a horse in New South Wales, you'll probably get a good price on it to back. But laying, you will be at a slight disadvantage. And it's not a lot, but there's definitely a few extra percentage points that you're going to be laying at because of that. It's just what happens. New South Wales, for any of my backing strategies, is definitely a much better state than the other states in Australia. So hopefully that kind of gives you a hint. If you do want to back things, that's where you should look. You're just going to have problems once you hit that $1,000 turnover transaction charge for New South Wales. I think it's in a month. So if you bet more than I can't remember if it's a week or a month, but if you bet more than $1,000, that's when you start getting hit with the charge, providing you haven't generated enough commission. Okay, I'll leave it there. I will jump on again tomorrow morning at about 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and go through what I can for Sunday's races. So I know a few of you have been on the whole time because I've seen we've had quite a few viewers going through, and thanks for all the comments for those that did put them in. Hopefully we can continue this streak where we haven't actually had a loss since I've been putting these up, even for those that we skipped with the odds. So yeah, let's see how it goes. And good luck today if you're having a bet or a lay, but definitely making some money out of these. Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow if you join again. See ya.